Hello, how you going? Cut. Well, g'day. This is my second beer chat. Some of you that know me, you probably realised the last video I did because I was angry because all those bastards making videos about the end of the world. Pisses me off no end. There's always some knobhead wanting to scare the shit out of people, and I don't know whether people do it just to, I don't know, get views and make money on YouTube. Maybe that's what it is. But taking people's, it's not liberty, but taking their ability to feel safe and make them scared. And the one thing that really annoys me, whether you believe in God or not, that's entirely up to you. I don't judge a man based on his beliefs. That's what you do. That's entirely up to you. But using religion and scriptures and certain points from the Bible, like Revelations, and tying it in with scientific information from NASA or whoever and saying, "Oh, we're going to get hit by an asteroid," it's really bad. You're scaring the fuck out of people. There's no need to do it unless you've got absolute proof. And if NASA phoned me up tomorrow and said, "Yep, we're definitely going to get hit with an asteroid and here's the proof," I'd say, well, that's it, we're buggered. But to scare people year after year. Hello, there you go. All right. He wants to get fed, little bugger. But it's wrong. There are a lot of people with very different, varying levels of mental issues and problems that they have. Depression, people with anxieties in general. Some people don't even leave their homes because they're that scared about things. But unless this parrot takes over completely, I'll try and finish what I'm trying to say, and that is, just stop doing it. Just stop making these videos up about tying in bits from the Bible and this, that and the other, because you're full of shit, basically. Like I say, you're either out there to make money on YouTube by getting revenue, or you're there basically just to, you know, piss fart around and make your own assumptions, which is wrong. I think probably one of the most important things to say is shit can happen. All right, you know, there can be disasters. We've seen them all over the planet. And whether you say they're increasing and volcanoes are erupting and earthquake, the relevance is, how is it affecting you? Let's talk about if you did have a major problem on the planet Earth or in your country. No electricity, stopped supplies of food, you just can't get them. How prepared are you? I'm not a hoard, but we certainly do shop in bulk, and which means we have quite a lot of food and other items around that would last us good 5 to 6 months without an issue. Someone come to my house, they'd say, well, that's not a lot, but it's a fair bit of food and a fair bit of this and that. And we do have our own solar system, so we have the capability to have electricity. I run DC fridges. And I'd probably even cut back even more on my consumption if something did happen. But the question I'm going to ask you is, how prepared are you? Have a look in your cupboards. What have you got? Do you have a supply of food for X amount of days? You know, in Australia we have cyclones which hit and cut off communities for weeks. And sometimes they're in desperate need, and airlifts are brought in to bring in food and water, depending what the disaster is. But if I asked you a simple question about how prepared are you, what are your stock reserves of food, and one of the most important things, what is your reserve of water? Do you have a well? Do you have rainwater tanks? So I suppose that last video I did has led to this video saying, well, if something did happen, and I'm not saying an asteroid because that would just, you know, shoot us all up the arse, we'd be buggered. But let's talk about an event which could possibly happen, and that is there's no electricity anymore. Do you have the knowledge to produce your own food? Do you have stocks of food to get you by before you produce food? Because I've always said reserves of food are one thing, but having the knowledge to basically treat your food reserves as a supplement to what you grow, raise, kill, cook, chickens, pigs, sheep, whatever is, you know, in your area. So it's probably something that's raised an issue within me is to say, well, what about the rest of you? How prepared are you? And probably one of the biggest things I think is more important than everything else is, do you have a knowledge? Do you have a base of knowledge that you can draw upon? How do I clean water, sterilize water so it's safe to drink? How do I grow food? Do you have any of these skills that you've already got? Some of you obviously have, without question. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people, if I said go and check your cupboards and your fridge and how much food do you think you had, and if they sat down and worked it out, most people probably say 2 to 3 weeks, tops. And in some cases, you know, a few days. Water is very important. So if you know where you can get I think the parrot's going to take over the show in a second. If you know where and what you can access other water, food, it makes life a lot easier. I mean, just to survive is not the issue. It's to try and things would change. Your diet would change. You wouldn't get all the things that you can get now. You'll be limited to your local environment. But I just want this video to be a catalyst, possibly, from the last one, which all these people bullshitting about another series of, oh, the world's going to end in September. It's happened so many times before in my lifetime. The world, you know, as far as if the predictions would have come true, we'd be dead 600 times. You know, there's always someone predicting the end of the world. And there's even groups of people, end timers, that are wanting it to happen, you know, because they believe that the rapture will occur and they'll be saved and everyone else will be stuffed. But stop all that nonsense. Truly, try and live your life, love your family, love the people that are important to you, help others if you can. But I just wonder if you actually are not so much a prepper or prepared, but the skill sets that you need. It's about seeking water, cleaning water, making it safe. Do you have any medical problems that you can probably look for natural remedies to replace? Because there is no pharmacies when the world goes kaput. So all these questions, I want you to think about them. You can put them in comments to me if you like, about what you are and how prepared you are, or some of the things that you see as your shortfalls. None of us have all the answers. But if you're not prepared at all, or if you have no skill sets into hunt, grow, catch, whatever it takes just to make yourself and your family survive, you're very limited. So it's probably what this has done, this series of these knobheads making videos about the end of the world in September. It's highlighted one thing for me, is how prepared are you for an extended period of time where things aren't available. Can you grow your own food? Well, I can tell you I know how to grow food, trust me. And if you talk about when would I be starting to eat, probably 6 to 8 weeks I'll be eating from my garden, from scratch, in different forms of food. And within 12 to 20 weeks I've got a larder full of food. And I know how to preserve it and dry it and store it. But those skills don't happen overnight. So if anything, this video makes you aware that maybe you need to learn the knowledge, at least the knowledge, even if you don't do the process, but if you know the knowledge of how to do these things, you're far better off than just being ignorant. So, like I say, this video is just a response to myself in the last video, basically saying, well, shit can happen, but all that other nonsense about September and the asteroid and the Pope going to the White, it's just wankers, the lot of you, trust me. Just let it go, live your life, love what you need to love, and live like you would like others to treat you. But stop this nonsense. There are people who kill themselves. There are people that get so anxious about things that are done on YouTube that you have a responsibility. And that is not just to make money off YouTube by scaring the fuck out of people. Anyway, I've said enough, but yeah, like I say, how prepared are you? What skills do you have, and do you think you need to learn some more skills? I don't have all the answers for you, but the YouTube is a wonderful device. You can, at some point, have a storage, even on a disc maybe, of all the things that you really do need to learn, but even if you don't look at them now, you can look at them later. So water, food, and the process of preserving food, some sort of solar system or wind system that gives you an energy. This is not for everybody. This video is not going to reach everybody. But if it reaches somebody, at least gets them to think, well, you know, right, maybe I do need to brush up my knowledge at least. So anyway, if you have been, thanks for watching. Has that parrot been fed yet?
Look quite good out here.
Oh look, here's one of them things from the forest.
Oh yes.
Ooh, hang on, hang
No,
on.
I'm not a Bigfoot. Yeah, put yours on. I'm the cute one.
We are people of the forest. You have been warned.
Yep.
Especially you. Yes, you.
Believe in fairies.
Auf
I'm
Wiedersehen.
gonna feed the birds now.
Dinner. Did you cook again?
Yep.